Good afternoon and welcome once again to Cornmouth Field at Sparrow Stadium within the Griffin Athletic Complex on the campus of Francis Marion University in Florence, South Carolina. Rob Lau here with you on the Patriot Sports Network to bring you the final game of this three-game Peach Belt Conference Series between FMU and Lander. The Bearcats have taken the first two. The Patriots in search of their 19th win of the season and looking to salvage the final game of this series. The starting lineup for Lander today, 11-18 overall, 7-7 in conference play. Leading off is the second baseman, Bailey Connell. At shortstop and batting second, Vincent Adona. The DH will bat third, Mike Fitzgin. Cleaning up and playing first base, Nathan Schreckengost. Third baseman Colton Yeager will bat fifth. In left field, it's Rory Glanton. He bats sixth. Catching and batting seventh, Zach Moore. Right fielder Carson Jones hits eighth. And center fielder Josh Gregory in the ninth spot. Pitching today for Lander will be left-hander Joseph Witt. FMU sending senior right-hander Isaac Rogers to the mound today. Rogers out of Rock Hill, making his first weekend start of the season. On the year, he is 5-0 with a 2.41 ERA, 8 total appearances, 6 starts, 37 in the third innings. He's allowed just 31 hits, 12 runs, 10 of which have been earned, 37 strikeouts to just 9 walks, and opponents hitting .226 against the 6'3 righty. Defensively behind Rogers today, Will Hardy in left, Gage Taylor in center, and Cole Hinnant in right. On the infield, Fred Wadsworth at third. Shortstop is C.J. Mackinson. Second baseman, Tanner Wakefield. Nick Pappas at first, and Alex Griffith behind the plate today for FMU as Bailey Connell digs in, ready to get this afternoon's contest started. Another perfect afternoon for baseball, just like we had yesterday. And the first pitch of the day, right at 1 o'clock, is out of the zone to Connell from Isaac Rogers. Rogers working 3 innings, 3 scoreless innings on a Wednesday at Claflin. For the Patriots then went to the bullpen for the rest of the game, anticipating that Rogers would take the hill to start against the Bearcats today. As I mentioned, his first weekend start of the season. He'd been predominantly the midweek starter for FMU and has done a terrific job in that role. Bailey Connell, 2 for 4 in yesterday's game. Had a couple of extra base hits, a double and a triple. Scored a couple of runs. Rogers is ahead of him here, 1-2. The righty deals. This is downstairs. Today's umpires, T.R. Sloan back behind the plate as he was for Friday's series opener. Mike Stone on the bases. FMU 18-11 this season, 9-8 in the Peach Belt Conference. Lander 11-18, 7-7 in the conference. These two teams entering today's play, 7th and 8th in the conference standings. North Georgia and USC Aiken tied for the top spot at 9-5, followed by Columbus State in 3rd, Flagler in 4th, Young Harrison 5th, Georgia College in 6th, and then these two teams in 7th and 8th. Now a full count on Connell. The top 8 teams will make the PBC tournament in May in St. Augustine, Florida, hosted by Flagler College. The 3 teams that are on the outside of that tournament picture at the moment, looking in, UNC Pembroke and Georgia Southwestern, 5-10, tied for 9th, and then Augusta at 4-13. Payoff pitch coming from Rogers to Connell. Called, 3rd strike. Good way to start the day for Isaac Rogers as he punches out Connell. And a lot of strikeouts so far in this series. These two teams came into the weekend the top 2 strikeout stabs in the conference. Lander number 1, FMU number 2 in strikeouts recorded. And Josh Bobrowski retired 13 Bearcats on strikes yesterday, the most by a Patriot hurler in a single outing this season. The previous high had been done by Isaac Rogers last Wednesday in a road start at Limestone. He struck out 11 in that start as Vincent Adona bunts one foul. 0 for 3 yesterday with an RBI and struck out 3 times. Check swing. Says he went around as the home plate umpire T.R. Sloan. Quickly, Rogers is ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. In that 11 strikeout outing for Rogers, he tossed a complete game, the first in a little more than 2 seasons for FMU, as he just missed with a good breaking ball. You have 1 run on 6 hits in those 9 innings, 1 walk, and then those 11 strikeouts. It was the first complete game since March 5th, 2017 for FMU, when Garrett Wilson went the distance in a non-conference game against St. Rose. Check swing again. Fastball high, this time holding back is Adona. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Temperature climbing towards 70 degrees here in the early afternoon. Popped up. Back to the mound. Rogers calling for it. The third baseman Wadsworth making a late charge for it, but Rogers makes the play by himself. He's taking care of the first 2 batters without any help from his defense with a strikeout and a pop-up. 2 away for the designated hitter, Mike Fitzgen. I would say it's a perfect day, but it's not quite perfect for those of us with allergies, as there's a lot of pollen in the air. But other than that, probably couldn't get much better. Fitzgen takes one downstairs, 1 for 5 in yesterday's contest with an RBI. The Patriots got off to a great start yesterday. Josh Bobrowski set down Lander in order in the top of the first, and then FMU went on to score 4 in the bottom of the first, but they could not hang on to the lead. And Lander has now taken the first 2 games of this series to claim their second Peach Belt Conference Series victory. This one's driven out into center. Taylor drifting toward right center. Has it, and for the second consecutive day, the Patriots starting pitcher retires Lander in order in the top of the first. FMU coming up against the senior southpaw Joseph Witt from the first time in the bottom of the first after this on the Patriot Sports Network. Senior Joseph Witt out of Graniteville, South Carolina, on the hill today for the visiting Lander Bearcats, making his 8th start of the season. ERA of 5. He is 3-2. He's allowed 43 hits in 36 innings, 22 runs, 28 of them earned, 31 strikeouts to 12 walks, and opponents hitting .291. For FMU in their lineup today, very similar to yesterday's lineup, especially at the top. Leading off is the left fielder Will Hardy. Batting second and playing right field, Cole Hinnett. Center fielder Gage Taylor bats third. Cleaning up is the first baseman Nick Pappas. DH Lenny Gonzalez hits 5th. Catching and batting 6th, Alex Griffith. Shortstop C.J. Mackinson in the 7th spot. Tanner Wakefield, the second baseman, will hit 8th. And batting 9th, third baseman Fred Wadsworth. With the 5'10 senior coming off of a no decision last weekend against Columbus State, in which he lasted 4 innings. Tied for his shortest outing, I should say, of the year. And his first pitch to Will Hardy is outside. Hardy, his first collegiate home run to start things off for FMU in the bottom of the first yesterday. Hitting behind him, then followed him with his 4th home run of the season. First time in program history the Patriots have led off the game with consecutive home runs. And it opened up a 4-run first frame. But Lander came back and eventually won the contest with 5 runs over the final 2 innings. Hardy way ahead on the count. 3 balls and no strikes. Comes in hitting .371. He's taking all the way as Witt delivers a called strike. Two-time reigning Peach Belt Conference Freshman of the Week, Will Hardy. And he draws a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the first. So once again, he starts things off by reaching base out of leadoff spot for FMU. And now Cole Hinnant. Hinnant's .377 average begins the day 6th best in the Peach Belt Conference. And he's tied for 5th with 29 runs batted in. Witt's first is off the plate outside, 1-0. This is just the third time this season that FMU has faced a left-handed starter. They are 2-0 against lefties, hitting .287 as a whole against southpaws versus .286 against righties, so pretty even splits. Patriots are pretty left-handed heavy at the top of the order. 3 of the first 4 are lefties. And Lenio Gonzalez, a switch hitter in the 5 spot. Then it'll be righties on the way down the order. Hinnant takes it in tight. Senior from Clayton, North Carolina, tied with senior catcher Alex Griffith with 4 home runs to lead FMU this season. Also has 13 doubles. And he takes that one for a called strike. And his doubles top the Peach Belt Conference. And he takes another strike. Run the count full. Hinnant had a double in the 9th inning yesterday as the Patriots tried to rally. He did end up scoring in the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Patriots got the tying runs on base. And the bases loaded with 2 outs. But could not get any closer than 9-6 as Ryan Troutman got the final out for Lander to finish off the contest. Payoff pitch coming to Hinnant. First we'll get another throw over. Hardy back in there safely. We'll see if the Patriots are entertaining thoughts of sending Hardy in a 3-2 count. Hinnant has struck out 23 times this season. And make it 24 as he tips it into the glove of the catcher, Zach Moore, for the first strikeout for Witt. That brings up Gage Taylor. The defense behind Witt today in left field, Rory Glanton, Josh Gregory in center, and Carson Jones is out in right. On the infield, Colton Yeager at third, Vincent Odona at short, Haley Connell at second, Nathan Schreckengost at first, and Zach Moore behind the plate for Joseph Witt. Gage Taylor hitting .303 on the year, 2 homers, and a team-high 31 runs batted in. The Patriots' senior center fielder, who ranks 4th in the conference in runs batted in. Hinnant tied for 5th with his 29, hitting in front of Taylor. Taylor disagreeing with the strike call there. Hardy at first with 1 out. He's stolen 1 base in 2 tries. Much tougher, of course, to steal with a lefty on the mound. Here's a chopper to the right side. Connell to Odona for 1. Relay onto first, and it's an inning-ending 4-6-3 double play turned by the Bearcats. And so both pitchers end up facing the minimum after the leadoff walk is erased. After 1-0 score between FMU and Lander on the Patriot Sports Network. Both teams sending the minimum to the plate in the first inning. We go to the second with Nathan Schreckengost, Colton Yeager, and Rory Glant in the middle third of the Lander lineup due up against Isaac Rogers. Rogers faced 2 batters out of the bullpen in the series against Lander a season ago. gave up 1 hit and hit a batter. There's a swing and a miss by Schreckengost, 0 for 5 in the game yesterday, including 3 strikeouts. For the series, he's now 2 for 8, scored 3 times and drove in a couple runs in Friday's series opener. Popped back foul on a play, and quickly Rogers is ahead. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Schreckengost, junior out of Winter Garden, Florida. Handful of players for the Bearcats hailing from the Sunshine State. Rogers quickly ahead. 0-2, he delivers. This one's cranked down the right field line. It's going to be well foul. It lands on the netting above the batting cages down the right field line, just past the Francis Marion bullpen. Up and in. Schreckengost for the year hitting .293, a pair of home runs, and 20 runs batted in. Leads the Bearcats with those 20 RBIs. A little bit up from Rogers, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lander has had a balanced attack in this series. It was the middle part of the order that did a lot of the damage on Friday, and was bottom of the order yesterday as the 7, 8, 9 hitters each hit a home run yesterday. Verlander, as Rogers once again a little bit disappointed to not get a 3rd strike call. And after getting ahead of Schreckengost, he's now on a full count. Patriots employing a heavy defensive shift. 3 infielders on the right side of second base. Called 3rd strike. This time Rogers does get his strike 3 call. Schreckengost is down looking. 2nd strikeout in the early going for Rogers. 1 away for Colton Yeager, the only Bearcat this season to have started all 30 games. And Yeager had 3 hits in the ball game yesterday, 4 hits in the series now. First one Yeager's way, and he fouls it away for strike 1. Lander comes in as a team with a .250 batting average. 30 home runs, right near the top of the Peach Belt Conference. 3 of them yesterday, swing and a miss. Rogers has done a great job in his starts of throwing his secondary pitches for strikes, and he has continued that at least through the first 5 batters. Missed away there with the fastball. 2 balls and a strike, or rather a ball and 2 strikes on Colton Yeager. .287 average for the season, yet to homer. He's driven in 15. Rogers deals, check swing. He went around. Griffith will tag him out to complete the strikeout. And it's back-to-back strikeouts for Rogers here in the top of the 2nd. 2 away for Rory Glanton, the left fielder. Team leader with 7 home runs for Lander. .232 overall average, 16 home runs. He's 2 for 7 so far in the series with 4 runs scored, including 3 in Friday's series opener. Rogers looking to start the way Josh Bobrowski did yesterday with 6 up and 6 down. This one hopped toward Wadsworth at 3rd, but it's in foul territory. Strike 1 on the right-handed hitting Glanton. Glanton, a junior out of Carrollton, Georgia, transfer to Lander from Georgia Southern. Taking his time getting back into the right-handed batting box. Rogers, when he's in a groove, likes to work quickly. We might see a few Bearcats try to step out on him to disrupt his timing a little bit. If, in fact, he does get into a groove. He is 5 up, 5 down so far with 3 strikeouts and a couple of lazy balls flown out into the air. It's a called strike. FMU will have a midweek home game this week against Limestone before heading out next weekend for another 3-game Peach Bowl Conference Series at North Georgia. A little bit up on Glanton. Patriots had so many home games in the early part of the season, but we'll spend the majority of the second half of the campaign on the road. Full count now on Glanton. Had a couple of Patriots taking a step or two toward their dugout on the first base side, thinking it was inning over. Rogers looking to strike out the side here on the top of the second. They get the Patriots right back out there offensively against Witt. And he loses Glanton, a 2-out walk to the Lander left fielder. First base runner for the visiting Bearcats. And it'll bring the catcher, Zach Moore, to the dish. Next up, number 7, Zach Moore. Moore homered yesterday against Josh Bobrowski, his first home run of the season. At the time, it made it 4-1 FMU in the third. Bearcats ended up scoring 3 runs, including 2 homers in that third inning. They erased deficits of 4-0 and 5-4 yesterday to come back and win. Breaking ball strike from Rogers to Moore, hitting 183 for the season. 3 for 7, though, in the series with 4 runs scored and 5 runs batted in. Seven hits now in 2 seasons against Francis Marion pitching, including his numbers from last year. As he golfs at that one and comes up empty. So again, Rogers gets ahead of a Lander batter quickly. If he can put Moore away and strand the 2-out free pass that he allowed to Glanton. And he does. Rogers gets Zach Moore looking. Strikes out the side around the 2-out walk. 4 strikeouts in 2 innings for Isaac Rogers. No score, middle of the second on the Patriot Sports Network. Nick Pappas will lead off for FMU in the bottom of the second. Lenny Gonzalez and Alex Griffith will follow. It's the middle third of the Patriot order. They sent the minimum to the plate in the bottom of the first. They got a leadoff walk from Will Hardy, but that was erased on an inning-ending double play ball. Joseph Witt back to work. The lefty has it lined right back past him. Shortstop Adona grabs it, kind of tailed back into the path of the shortstop. Adona looked like it might be ticketed for center field, but Adona moves over to make the play. Pappas is out to begin the bottom of the second, bringing up Gonzalez. 289 average for Gonzalez this season, 3 homers, 22 runs batted in. FMU, the second most runs scored in the conference this season. Only UNC Pembroke has more runs scored, bolstered by a 20-run performance on Friday against Georgia College for the Braves. Gonzalez cuts and misses. Those two teams played a doubleheader yesterday, Georgia College winning both games to take 2 out of 3 in the series after UNCP took Friday night's opener with those 20 runs scored. Foul by Gonzalez for strike 2. Lander with a 5.46 team ERA. Only Augusta with a higher ERA among Peach Belt Conference teams. Heading into today's action, Augusta's is over 6. Inside on Gonzalez. The Patriots started off their conference season with a sweep at Augusta, starting the conference season with a 3-game sweep over Augusta for the second consecutive season. Did so last year here in Florence as well. Here's the 1-2 from Witt. Downstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. North Georgia, who's tied for first, the next Peach Belt Conference opponent for FMU next weekend, as FMU will take its show on the road. Gonzalez yesterday 0 for 4, looking for that first hit of the series. He has been on 3 times. Once on a walk and twice he's been hit by a pitch. Two teams have combined to hit 15 batters in the first 2 games of this series, 11 on Friday, and then 4 more yesterday. Gonzalez pops this one up. Schreckengoss gives it a glance and a few steps toward the first base dugout, and it's fouled into the crowd of, I believe that's majority of the FMU women's soccer team. At least some women's soccer players, maybe some other athletes as well. But Daly McEwen is among those over there. Downstairs, Gonzalez draws a walk. It's a second walk drawn by the Patriot offense so far today against Witt. Alex Griffith now with 1 on and 1 out. He was 1 for 3 against Witt last year. Witt went 6 1/3 innings in the Game 2 start against the Patriots last year in Greenwood. Gave up 12 hits and 3 runs, didn't walk anybody, and struck out 1. Earned a no decision. Patriots have drawn the second most walks in the conference, just 2 behind Flagler. They've drawn 2 today as Griffith singles sharply through the left side. Gonzalez will stop at second. And the Patriots now have 2 on with 1 out for the shortstop, C.J. Mackinson. Mackinson hitting .256, a pair of home runs, 17 runs batted in. The senior out of Sykesville, Maryland. Gonzalez at second and Griffith at first after the walk and the single with 1 out. He takes it downstairs. Both of Mackinson's home runs came in the same midweek contest, a win over Chowan. Looking to get the Patriots the lead here in the bottom of the second. They have scored first in each of the first 2 games of this series. Now 15-4 wins scoring first. Witt working over on the first base side of the rubber. Kicks and fires, and Mackinson sends it back toward Hartzler Field. 2 balls and a strike. Yesterday, Mackinson going 0 for 4. Witt deals. Mackinson swings and misses. Good located fastball from Witt there on the outside part of the plate. Trying to work his way back into the count. Fouling straight back. FMU averaging 8.2 runs a game. Behind an offense that has a 286 team batting average, 385 team on base percentage. The on base percentage and batting average both in the middle of the pack in the conference. Atkinson runs the count full now. Wouldn't expect the runners to be on the move here with a 3-2 count with one out, but we'll see what Patriot head coach Art Nabonet is thinking in the third base coaching box. Actually in it today. It's driven high in the air into deep left center field by Mackinson. Gregory going over. He will make the catch just a few feet in front of the track as it just held up long enough for him to get there. The runners will have to retreat. Well struck ball there by Mackinson, but just a long out. And with two down, it's up to the redshirt freshman second baseman Tanner Wakefield. Wakefield at the start at third base in the game yesterday. Making his fourth start of the season at second base today with senior third baseman Fred Wadsworth back into the lineup. Wakefield takes this one downstairs, 1 for 3 plus a walk yesterday for Wakefield. Average now sits at 344 for the season. His 20th game and 16th start. Takes this one upstairs, trying to come up with a big two-out hit here in the bottom of the second to give Francis Marion an early lead for the third consecutive day. In game one, they led 1-0 after one. They led 4-0 after one yesterday. (2-0). A dive by Wakefield as that one just misses a little south of the knees. 3-0. Wadsworth waiting on deck. Would imagine that Wakefield is probably taking here 3-0. But we will see. Witt delivers. He is taking, and it's low. A 4-pitch walk to Tanner Wakefield. That's going to load him up. Already 3 walks in the space of the first 8 hitters issued by Witt, and that's going to bring one of the coaches out of the Lander dugout. Francis Marion University Athletics would like to thank the following sponsors: Adidas, Circle Park Behavioral Health Services, Domino's, McLeod Regional Medical Center, Carolinas Hospital System, Ken Jackson and Remax Professionals, Pepsi, McDonald's, Rains Hospitality, including Fairfield Inn, Spring Hill Suites, and Courtyard by Marriott, Mike Rickenbach, Ford Lincoln Mercury, South Carolina Education Lottery, King Cadillac Buick GMC, McLeod Sports Medicine, the Counseling Center of Florence, Chick-fil-A, State Farm and Agent Jim Stewart, Quincy Steakhouse, Little Caesars, La Quinta Inn and Suites, KFC, Arby's, Julia Bell's Restaurant, PD Electric Cooperative, Sparrow and Kennedy Tractor Supply, Western Sizzlin Steakhouse, State Credit Union, and Zaxby's. The bases are loaded with Patriots now with 2 outs. Senior third baseman Fred Wadsworth. His first at bat of the day. He's got Gonzalez at third, Griffith at second, and Wakefield at first. 2 walks and a single in the inning for FMU. Wadsworth takes one a little bit out of the zone as Witt has now missed with 5 in a row since getting Mackinson to fly out. Gonzalez and Wakefield drew the walks. Griffith has the single. Fouled away by Wadsworth. Wadsworth making his 5th start of the season. 2 for 16 at the plate with 1 run batted in. Opportunity to double or maybe even triple that total with a 2-out knock here. Ropes this one out into left center field. That one's going to get down, and it's going to be extra bases for Wadsworth. This should clean the bases. He pulls into second, in to score Wakefield, It's a 3-run double to left center by Fred Wadsworth, and he surpasses the double and triple thing of his RBI total as he quadruples his total with a 3-run double. A huge hit early in this ball game for Francis Marion as they cash in 3 2-out runs on the Wadsworth extra base hit. Back to the top of the order to Will Hardy, who walked his first time up. Was erased on a double play ball as Witt faced the minimum in the first inning. And Hardy drives this one well into right, but it'll be caught by Jones. Had to drift a little bit further back than it looked like he might off the crack of the bat, but he makes the play. The Patriots are out in the second, but the big 3-run double by Wadsworth gives FMU a 3-0 lead as we go to the third on the Patriot Sports Network. Eight, 9, and 1 coming up for Lander. Top of the third. Francis Marion with 3 big 2-out runs in the bottom of the second on the bases clearing double by Fred Wadsworth. Senior coming through with his second, third, and fourth RBIs of the season on his first extra base hit as a Patriot. And Isaac Rogers back to work with the lead for the first time this afternoon. Carson Jones, Josh Gregory, and Bailey Connell scheduled to face him. Jones, probably the biggest hit in the ball game yesterday, and probably the biggest hit of the series. A 3-run homer in the 8th inning yesterday to take what was a 5-4 FMU lead, turned into a 7-5 Lander lead. The Bearcats came back, or went on to win that contest to claim the series victory. 1-1 pitch from Rogers. Jones takes a little bit upstairs. 4 home runs now. 17 runs batted in. 6 in the series for Jones. 3 for 6 in the set. Chopped foul down the left field line towards the head coach of the Bearcats, Jason Burke. Coaching third for Lander. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Already 4 strikeouts through the first 7 batters for Isaac Rogers. Out and away. He struck out the side around a 2-out walk last inning. The only base runner for Lander through 2 innings, that 2-out walk to Glanton in the second. Foul back. Rogers struck out 5 at Claflin in 3 innings on Wednesday in his most recent outing. He's been racking up the strikeouts as of late. This one's drilled foul. Way out in front there was Carson Jones. Coming into today, Rogers ran 37 and 37 in the third inning, so just under a batter per inning. He'll be over that now with 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. Make it 5 and 2 1/3 as he punches out Carson Jones looking. 4 straight outs recorded by Rogers have been via the K. And 4 of his 5 have been looking strikeouts. 1 away for Josh Gregory. Yesterday, of Bobrovsky's 13 strikeouts, 12 of them were swinging. The Rogers, again, striking out many Lander hitters, but doing it the other way as Gregory comes up empty. Patriots struck out 11 on Friday, 14 in total yesterday. Good hook in there for a strike. Quickly 0-2 on Gregory. It is 3rd home run of the year yesterday. That is his lone hit in the series so far. Stays alive. Fighting that one off foul. Lander has struck out more often than any other Peach Belt Conference team this season. 293 strikeouts, including the 5 today. Check swing, and home plate umpire T.R. Sloan says that Gregory went too far. 6 strikeouts for Rogers the first time through the order. Back to the top, Haley Connell. He struck out looking his first time up. Well, Rogers now 5 consecutive outs via the K, with just the walk in there interrupting things. Just a touch outside. The first pitch from Rogers. Looking to retire the signed in order for the second time in the first 3 innings, Rogers. There he gets a strike. Strike 2. Connell, one of the 2 Bearcats who faced Rogers last year, he singled against him. And Rogers goes back to a similar spot with the first pitch missed to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Connell hitting .288 for the year coming into play today. And he goes too far on the check swing. Striking out the side for the second consecutive inning is Rogers. He has fanned 7 through 3. And FMU has a 3-0 lead, middle of the third on the Patriot Sports Network. Cole Hinnant will lead off for the Patriots in the bottom of the third. Gage Taylor and Nick Pappas to follow. FMU leading 3-0. So they have scored first in each of the 3 games in this series. 1-0 lead Friday, 4-0 and 5-4 leads yesterday. And it chops it deep in the hole. It's short. I don't know with a Derek Jeter-esque jump throw, but it will not be nearly in time to get Hinnon at first. A leadoff infield single for the Patriots right fielder. He's now 2 for 5. Career against Witt. Brings up Gage Taylor. Taylor bounced into a double play his first time up. Went 2 for 4 against Witt last year. There's the day hitting .303. Does Taylor. Gets a bunt down, third base side. The catcher Moore hops on it quickly and throws out Taylor. Successful sacrifice from the Patriots center fielder to move Hennon along into scoring position with 1 out for Nick Pappas. Third sacrifice of the season for Taylor. That leads the Patriots. That's their 14th overall this season. They had several players with 2 apiece entering the game today. Pappas takes a strike. Grounded out to short his first time up. In scoring position with 1 away as FMU looks to add on to their 3-run advantage here in the bottom of the third. Witt misses downstairs. Elsewhere in the Peach Belt today, Flagler and Young Harris have split the first 2 games of this series. Split a doubleheader yesterday. Young Harris has a 2-0 lead on the bottom of the 8th. Out in Florida. Fort Georgia looking for the sweep of Augusta. They lead 4-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Came in tied for first place at the start of play today with USC Aiken. They split the first 2 games of their series against Columbus State. Foul tip into the glove of Moore. Columbus State has a 2-0 lead over USC Aiken in the bottom of the 2nd. Georgia Southwestern and Lenore Ryan tied at 3 in the bottom of the 2nd in the lone non-conference series involving a PBC team. This weekend, they split a doubleheader yesterday. Ground ball through the hole on the left side off the bat of Pappas. Hinnon is being waved around. Glanton comes up with it. His throw is cut by the third baseman, Yeager. And Hinnon is easily in to score the Patriots' 4th run of the day. So Nick Pappas goes the opposite way. Picks up his 25th RBI of the season and 2nd RBI of the series. And the Patriots now have a 4-0 advantage here in the bottom of the 3rd. And 1 on and 1 out for Gonzalez. Gonzalez takes the first pitch, called strike. He has not had the opportunity to bat left-handed much this season. He has 1 for 6 as a lefty. His 1 hit was a home run. As a righty, I should say. Against lefties. Shot foul. Had it backwards. Walked and scored did Gonzalez last inning. Gonzalez, Griffith, and Wakefield all coming in to score on the bases loaded double by Wadsworth. Strike 2 pitch to Gonzalez. Lines it down the right field line. Long run into foul territory. Carson Jones runs out of room. A single, a sacrifice, and another single for the Patriots to get the run in this inning. Bounces up. More of the good sliding block behind Gonzalez to keep it in front of him and therefore keep Nick Pappas over at first base. Being held on by Schreckengost over at first. Pitch on the way to Gonzalez. Another one low and in. As he once again lays off the off-speed pitch down in the dirt. Next, Patriot Sports Network broadcast. Another baseball game midweek, Wednesday at 6 o'clock against Limestone. Gonzalez fouls that one away. Next home series for Francis Marion will be their final home series of the season, April the 12th through the 14th against Columbus State. We'll have one more midweek game in between now and then. In addition to the Limestone game, Tuesday, April 2nd, Patriots will see Queens for the second time. Already a victory over the Royals a few weeks back. Another foul by Gonzalez. Truckengoss comes over, but this one will land on the top of the FMU dugout and bounce away. Witt last weekend was tied for his shortest outing of the season. Went 4 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. Walked 1 and struck out 6. And no decision against Columbus State. And there's already action in the Lander bullpen. As he works here on the bottom of the third. Flown out into center. A few steps toward left center is Gregory. He makes the catch. Holding at first is Pappas. Praise Thorson, a junior out of Myrtle Beach, is the one loosening in the Bearcat pen down the left field line. Now Alex Griffith. Griffith 1 for 1. Solid single through the left side. His first time up. Patriots with 4 runs on 4 hits. They've also drawn 3 walks already. 2 of those 3 walks have ended up coming around to score. Griffith 2 for 4 now against Witt. He went 1 for 3 with an RBI against him last year. And he grounds this one sharply back up the middle. Diving stop by Odoni. He flips to second for the force. Nice play by the Lander shortstop to end the third inning. The Patriots do add a run on the Nick Pappas RBI single. We'll go to the fourth. 4-0 Francis Marion on the Patriot Sports Network. Four to nothing as we go to the fourth. Francis Marion in front of Lander. Vincent Adona, Mike Fitzgin, Nathan Schreckengoss. 2, 3, 4 hitters scheduled to come up for the Bearcats as Isaac Rogers goes back to work. He has struck out 7 already. All 3 outs in each of the last 2 innings have been via the K. So I'm just one base runner so far through the first 10 hitters he's faced. That was a 2-out walk in the second to Rory Glanton. So 7 strikeouts and 2 balls hit in the air. 1 pop-up right back to him and 1 lazy fly ball to center field to Gage Taylor. 1-2 on Adona, who popped up. Back to Rogers, his first time up. Oh for 3 yesterday. Did drive in a run with a sacrifice fly that at the time tied the game at 4. Bouncer, that took a wicked hop up on Pappas, stays with it, flips to Rogers covering for the first out. Good job by Nick Pappas to fight off that high hop. And Rogers there to take the feed. First ground ball out recorded by the senior from Rock Hill. And make it 4 straight innings in which Rogers has kept the leadoff man off the base paths. Fitzchin now at the plate. Curveball hangs high from Isaac Rogers. 0 for 1, a fly to center for Fitzchin. .292 average at the start of play today. Bounces it to Wadsworth at third. 2 down. Now Schreckengoss with 2 down. Looking to make it 3 1-2-3 innings out of the first 4 frames. Isaac Rogers. Schreckengoss struck out looking his first time up to lead off the second. He now struck out 5 times in the series. Schreckengoss, who takes a strike to start off his second at-bat of today's game. Rogers deals. Missed a little bit high. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase one. Off the plate there, Schreckengost. Isaac ahead, 1-2, working over on the first base side of the rubber. Throws the fastball by him. Strikeout number 8, as once again Rogers sets the Bearcats down in order. 4 innings with just 1 base runner allowed for Rogers. We go to the last half of the 4th. FMU leading by 4 on the Patriot Sports Network. New pitcher for Lander as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Francis Marion leading it 4-0. It is 6'1" junior right-hander Praise Thorson. In 7 appearances so far this season, Thorson a 3.09 ERA, no record, 1 save for the Bearcats. 7 hits, 8 runs, 4 of them earned, 9 walks, 10 strikeouts, and 11 2/3. Opponents hitting just 163 against Thorson. So the Myrtle Beach native will face the bottom third of the Patriots order: Mackinson, Wakefield, and Wadsworth. Here in the last of the fourth. Mackinson 0 for 1, drilled one out to left center his first time up, but it was tracked down by the center fielder Gregory. So Joseph Witt, the starter for Lander, turns in his shortest start of the season, lasting just 3 innings. Patriots knock him out, getting 4 runs in the second and third innings combined. He gave up 4 total runs on 4 hits, walked 3, struck out 1. And Thorson falls behind Mackinson, 2 balls and no strikes. Mackinson taking until he got a strike. Thorson faced 2 batters in a game against FMU back in 2016. His freshman season, did not pitch in the series last year. But did not face anyone who is currently with FMU in that 2-batter stretch. Patriots won 2 out of 3 in that 2016 series in Greenwood. Mackinson drills this one deep down the left field line, but it's well foul. So a full count on the Patriots shortstop, C.J. Mackinson. FMU getting 3 in the second on a Wadsworth 3-run double, and then 1 in the third on a Nick Pappas RBI single. And Mackinson will draw a leadoff walk. Already 4 walks drawn by Francis Marion this afternoon. They have the leadoff hitter on for the 3rd time in 4 innings, and Tanner Wakefield at the plate. Wakefield walking and scoring back in the 3-run second. Showed bunt, pulled it back as that one ran up and in on him from Thorson. Thorson made 3 appearances last year. Just 3 1/3 innings of work, missed all of 2017 due to injury. Wakefield will bunt it foul toward the Lander dugout. Appeared in 11 games as a freshman in 2016 for 10 2/3 total innings, including 3 innings against Nova Southeastern in the College World Series in late May. Coming off of a 3-inning outing in relief last weekend against Columbus State. Oh, that one went up and in and hit the top of the helmet of Tanner Wakefield. Has another hit batter in the series. 10th batter hit by Lander pitching for the weekend. It'll get Mackinson over to second. I believe that's 16 total between the two teams in just under 2.5 games so far in this series. Fred Wadsworth, 1 for 1 with a 3-run double. First extra base hit as a Patriot, the senior transfer. And he quadrupled his RBI total from 1 to 4. He's got 2 on with nobody out here. Squares to bunt and bunts it foul. The Wakefield was trying to bunt and ended up reaching thanks to the hit by pitch. Now a chance to get 2 runners into scoring position instead of just the 1 for FMU. Looking to keep adding on against a Lander team that is an explosive offensively in the first 2 days of this series. Wadsworth, good eye there to let that one go by. Quarter infielders coming in, especially the first baseman, Schreckengoss. That one low and away, pops out of the mitt of Moore, and that'll get the runners over without having to worry about sacrificing. A wild pitch from Thorson. Mackinson advances to third. Wakefield to second. 2 balls and a strike on Wadsworth, who now has a chance to drive in 2 more runs with another hit here. And Lander, already down by 4 here in the third inning, will bring the infield to the edges of the grass all the way around. Thorson steps off. Hopped off the plate, up third base side, foul. Count even on Wadsworth at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wadsworth, senior from Columbia. Second start of the weekend at third. Tanner Wakefield started at third yesterday. He's starting at second today. Breaking ball by Thorson, just a little bit inside. Lander dugout. Auto was strike 3. Instead, it's ball 3. So a full count on Wadsworth. Top of the order, Will Hardy waiting on deck for FMU. Payoff. Wadsworth stays alive, fouling it off right at the plate. Another 3-2 pitch coming. Wadsworth will foul off another. Gets to the screen behind home plate. A walk, a hit batter, and a wild pitch to get the runners to second and third with nobody out here in the bottom of the Patriot fourth. Wadsworth sends this one out into right field. Should be deep enough for Mackinson to tag. Jones makes the catch. Mackinson does indeed tag. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's a little bit up the line. Mackinson scores. Over to third goes Wakefield, and Fred Wadsworth drives in another. He has brought in 4 of the 5 Patriot runs to this point. And still a great opportunity to get at least one more with Wakefield at third and just 1 out of the inning still for Will Hardy. So that'll snap a streak of 3 outings in a row where Thorson had not allowed a run. Misses outside to Will Hardy. Hardy 0 for 1 with a walk and a fly ball. Comes into today riding a 13-game hitting streak, longest by a Patriot in 2019. He's ahead in the count now, 2 balls and no strikes. Came in with a .371 average and a .429 on-base percentage. Recently installed as the Patriots' leadoff hitter. After earlier on in the season hitting in the middle of the lineup. And now it's 3-0. The infield is still in for Lander. Trying to keep Wakefield from scoring on a ground ball. 3-0. Not even close. It tips off the mid of Zach Moore, and Wakefield will score standing up. Second wild pitch of the inning for Thorson. This one gets a run in. Second walk of the inning for Thorson. The Patriots have scored 2 runs and now have another runner on base without the benefit of a hit. And that's going to be the end of the line for Thorson. So Thorson faces 4 batters, gets 1 of them out, and he will check out. Back with the new Lander pitcher for this quick timeout on the Patriot Sports Network. Lander goes back into the bullpen after getting just one out from Brace Thorson. A turn to redshirt freshman right-hander Zeke Stevens, 6'1", out of Greer, South Carolina. For the season, Stevens 0-2, 6 appearances, including 4 starts, a 7.40 ERA. He's allowed 35 hits in 20 2/3 innings, 21 runs, 17 of them earned, 13 walks, 20 strikeouts. Opponents have tagged him for a .385 batting average, including 3 home runs allowed on the season. Got roughed up in his most recent appearance against Catawba. Lasted just an inning, gave up 3 hits and 4 walks, 6 runs, 2 of them earned, with a strikeout. Facing Cole Hinnett with 1 on and 1 out. 2 runs in here in the Patriot fourth to extend their lead to 6-0. After the starter Witt faced the minimum in the first, thanks to a double play, the Patriots have scored at least 1 run in the next 3 innings. They got 3 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 so far here in the fourth. And back of Isaac Rogers, who's allowed just 1 base runner through 4 innings on his end of the deal. Ball and a strike on Hinnett. Strikeout single so far today, 1 for 2. Singleton scored the Patriot run last inning after an infield hit to start the frame. Hardy takes off. Hinnett chops it to the left side. Waiting for it to come down is Yeager, and he makes the play for round number 2. Hardy advances, sending the runner. Helps the Patriots move Hardy along into scoring position. Definitely don't think that one was going to be a double play ball, even if Hardy had not been on the move, but it might have allowed Yeager to get the force in the lead runner. So Hardy, who's now walked twice today, moves up to second there with 2 outs for Gage Taylor. Sacrificed his last time up, team leading 3rd sacrifice of the season for the senior center fielder. Takes a called strike. 0 for 1, ground ball back in the first. It ended up being a inning-ending double play, the only inning, as I mentioned, in which the Patriots have not scored of the first 4. Trying to make it another 3-run inning with a 2-out hit to bring home Hardy. Late swing from Taylor. Taylor leading the Patriots with 31 runs batted in this season. Was leading the Peach Belt Conference for a while. Still in the top 5 as he ropes this one foul down the right field line. It stays 0-2. Taylor, the senior from South Lebanon, Ohio, transfer from USC Sumter. Second season with FMU, hit .328 last year. And he drills this one into right field. That one's going to get down the line. Extra bases for Taylor. In to score easily is Will Hardy. Taylor hits the bag at second. He's going to try for 3. The throw is in time. Yeager tags out Taylor, who was determined to turn that into a 3-bagger. Comes up a little bit short. He does drive in the run, though. A 2-out extra base hit for Taylor gives him his 32nd RBI of the season. It's a 3-run Patriot inning. They lead by a touchdown and the extra point, 7-0 as we go to the top of the 5th on the Patriot Sports Network. Seven-run lead to work with for Isaac Rogers as he gets set to face Colton Yeager, Rory Glanton, and Zach Moore, 5, 6, 7 hitters in the Lander lineup this afternoon. Patriots with their second 3-run inning of the afternoon. H. Taylor an RBI double, but thrown out trying to stretch it into a triple. To end the inning, nice diving stop at third by Wadsworth. Throw is a little high, though, and it pulls Pappas off the base. So Lander will get just their second base runner of the afternoon. Wadsworth did the hard part in making the diving stab over there at third. But he pulls Pappas off the base paths, or off the first base bag, I should say, for Yeager to reach. First error for either team. Now Rory Glanton, he was the only Bearcat to reach until that error, as he was walked with 2 outs back in the second. First time today that Lander has put the leadoff runner on. Isaac Rogers sets at the belt and gets a swing and a miss from Rory Glanton. 8 strikeouts for the senior from Rock Hill through his first 4 innings, including striking out the side both in the second and third innings. And he retired Lander in order in 3 of the first 4 frames. Delivers a good fastball strike on the outer half of the plate. 1-2 now on Glanton. Team leader in homers with 7 for Lander. He's 2 for 7 in the series with 4 runs scored. Patriots have kept him in the ballpark. Although Lander has hit 3 home runs, Patriots 2 so far in the series. Swing and a miss out in front of an off-speed offering from Rogers as he fans his 9th. First out. Now Zach Moore, the catcher. Oh for 1 with a looking strikeout for Zach Moore today. And that one hits him. Breaking ball that just got away from Isaac Rogers there. So Lander will have multiple base runners in an inning for the first time this afternoon here in the fifth. Yeager at second. Moore at first, one out for Carson Jones, the right fielder. Jones struck out looking his first time up as well. He's now 3 for 7 in the series. Done a lot of damage for the Bearcats. 6 runs batted in, combined over the first 2 games. Rogers checks the runner a couple of times at second before dealing one outside. Lander with a .250 average coming into today, the lowest in the conference. Well, they have certainly not seemed like an offense that had been struggling entering the weekend with their first 2 showings in the series. Rogers misses again. Two 2-0 on Carson Jones. End of the day, hitting .230 for the season. He fouls one straight back. If not for the screen, I like to think I would have caught it. It was right back in my direction, just directly upwards. 2 balls and a strike on Carson Jones. Another good crowd on hand for this beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon. 3 balls and a strike. Now it's attendance of over 800 yesterday with all the youth for Boys and Girls Club Day. It's been good crowds all 3 games in this series, taking advantage of the great weather we've had all 3 days. It's about time we had some good weather home games, had a lot of rain and a lot of cooler weather for the Patriots home games this season. They're 12-8 in Florence so far this year as Rogers comes back to fill the count on Jones. Gregory on deck, 2 on, 1 out. First real threat for Lander. 2 on and 1 out, an error and a hit batter in the inning. Payoff from Rogers. Got him to chase an elevated fastball. Second time today, he has struck out Carson Jones, and already here in the 5th inning, Rogers has fanned his 10th. So back-to-back days where the Patriots starting pitcher has fanned double digits. 13 yesterday for Bobrowski, and 10 already in 4 2/3 innings for Isaac Rogers. Gregory struck out swinging his first time up. The next pitch for Rogers will be his 75th of the afternoon. Missed downstairs with that offering. Rogers threw 124 pitches in his complete game victory over Limestone. So that's an indication of what his limit pitch-wise would be and the upper reaches of it. And he still has plenty left in the tank. Ball and a strike on Gregory. 1 for 8 now in the series. That 1 hit was a solo home run yesterday. 2 on with 2 outs. Rogers trying to work around a hit batter and an error, and he's a strike away from doing so after getting a called one against Gregory. Yeager at second, reached on a throwing error by Wadsworth. Moore at first was hit by a Rogers offering. The other 2 batters in this inning, Glanton and Jones, are strikeout victims number 9 and 10. This one skied out into shallow right. Hinnant charging in, going out is Wakefield. It'll be Hinnant to make the play, and the Patriots are able to work around the error in the hit batter to strand a couple in the fifth, halfway home here in Florence. It's FMU 7, Lander nothing on the Patriot Sports Network. Nick Pappas will lead off for Francis Marion in the bottom of the fifth. They've scored at least 1 in 3 consecutive innings, looking to keep that going. Zeke Stevens back out there for his first full inning of work. Came on to get the final 2 outs of the 4th inning. Already the 3rd pitcher used by Lander today. The starter, Witt, went the first 3. Praise Thorson came on. Faced 4 batters, walked 2 of them, hit 1 of them, and gave up a sac fly. 2-0 on Pappas. Stevens hit it to ground out, and then gave up an RBI double to Taylor, and Taylor was then thrown out trying to stretch it into a triple to end the Patriot 4th. There's a strike on Pappas, who today is 1 for 2. He's gone the opposite way, once on a bouncer to short, and once that got through the left side for an RBI single. Back in the 3rd. Fouls this one off, 2-2. It'll be Gonzalez and Griffith to follow here in the FMU half of the 5th inning. Good offensive attack and a great start from Isaac Rogers so far, leading the Patriots the first half of this afternoon's contest. Swing and a miss by Pappas. First strikeout for Stevens. 2nd strikeout of the game for Lander pitching. They came in as the best staff in the conference at striking out opposing hitters. At the start of play today, Lander had fanned 284 hitters. FMU was 3rd with 267, only Flagler in between. Gonzalez takes one high and tight. Walked back in the 2nd inning and scored, and then flew to center his last time up. The switch hitter Gonzalez back to batting left-handed. He's gotten nearly all of his at-bats left-handed despite being a switch hitter. Patriots just haven't faced that many left-handed pitchers. Today, Joseph Witt was just the 3rd left-handed starter FMU has faced in what is their 30th game of the season. In and toward left center comes the center fielder Gregory. He's got it. Gonzalez is the 2nd out. I'll bring up the catcher, Alex Griffith. Griffith was robbed of a hit his last time up on a nice diving stop by the shortstop, Adona, on one that was off the bat, looking like it was going to get into the outfield. Adona made a diving stop and flipped it to his double play partner, Connell, for an inning-ending fielder's choice. That was to end the 3rd. Griffith singled and scored in his other at-bat. That was back in the 2nd. And a couple of hits, scored a couple of times and drove in a run yesterday. Takes a strike there. So Griffith is 4 for 9 in this series. He's had at least one base hit in all 3 games. 1-1 his way. Skims the dirt. This will be the first time since the first inning that Lander will have kept the Patriots off the base paths in their first true 1-2-3 inning of the day, if they're able to do so. Griffith fouls it back. In the first inning, FMU got a leadoff walk to Hardy. He ended up getting erased on a double play, so Witt did end up facing the minimum, despite it being not a true 3-up, 3-down inning. If Griffith does reach, C.J. Mackinson would be next. 2-2 from Stevens. Bounced foul just past the Lander dugout on the third base side. Steven works way over on the first base edge. Winds and deals. Full count on Griffith. Missed upstairs, ball 4. First walk for Stevenson's coming on, so the Patriots once again keep Lander from a 1-2-3 inning as Griffith is aboard for the second time. That is 6 free passes allowed by Lander today. Mackinson drew one his last time up and came around to score as a part of the 3-run fourth. 0 for 1 officially. Drills this one down the left field line, but it's going to be foul. Strike one. Mackinson hit the ball hard his first time up, drilling one into left center back in the second inning, but it was tracked down by the center fielder Gregory. It hung up there just long enough for him to be able to track it down. Sharp ground ball. That one's going to get through the left side. This time Mackinson rewarded for a good stroke at the plate. Stopping at second is Alex Griffith. Hit number 6 for the afternoon for FMU. 2 on with 2 out now for the second baseman, Tanner Wakefield. Wakefield has been on both times he's been up today. He was walked once, and then last time he was hit by a pitch. He has scored twice. 2 on with 2 outs here. Fastball strike from Stevens. 7 runs on 6 hits with an error for FMU. Nothing across for Lander so far through 5 innings. Strike 2. Wakefield, predominantly when he's been in the lineup, he has started at third base, starting at second today for the 4th time this season. Replacing Grayson Cottingham, who started the first 2 games at second base in the set for Francis Marion. A little bit outside. Moore held it there for an extra beat to try to get the 3rd strike called. To no avail. Check swing. Did not go. The Lander faithful upset about that. One fan in particular louder than the others. among the Bearcat partisans. And of course, there's the FMU response. Good call, Blue. Griffith leading from second. Atkinson from first. A 2-2 pitch to Tanner Wakefield is upstairs. And so after falling behind in the count, 0-2, Wakefield has taken 3 pitches out of the zone to get it back to full, and the runners will get head starts with a 3-2 count and 2 down. So 1 in the gap might make it a 9-run game for FMU if Wakefield can deliver it. First, Stevens will step off. Griffith was scampering back, but neither of the middle infielders was making a break for the bag, so he wasn't in any danger of being thrown out. Playing behind the runner, Mackinson at first, so he can get a healthy lead over there, plus the head start with the 3-2 coming. Fouled off. So both Griffith and Mackinson will have to make their way back. We'll do it again at 3-2 between Stevens on the hill and Wakefield in the box. Wadsworth, who's driven in 4 for FMU, would be next. Wakefield fights another one off. Wakefield 1 for 3 in the series. He's reached 4 times. Another turn and look. Make it 1 for 4 for Wakefield with 4 times reaching base. His 1 hit came last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say. But he's twice reached on walks, once on a hit by pitch. Trying to come up with a big 2-out hit to add the FMU lead here on the bottom of the 5th. The runners once again take off, and Wakefield comes up empty. So Stevens wins that lengthy battle with Wakefield and strands a couple of 2-out base runners. We go to the 6th. Francis Marion 7, Lander nothing on the Patriot Sports Network. Top of the order for Lander, top of the 6th. Bailey Connell has struck out twice against Isaac Rogers, who has fanned 10. And surrendered just 3 base runners through his first 5 innings. A walk, a hit batter, and an error made behind him. And Connell swings and misses At the first pitch of the inning. Through 5 innings, Rogers' pitch count sitting at 78. 50 of them for strikes. Check swing. Did not go around. Connell, Adona, and Fitzgin, the top of the order, combined 0 for 6 today. And this one is lined through the left side, a base hit by Bailey Connell. So that'll end the no-hit bid for Rogers as he no-hit the Bearcats through the first 5 innings. Brings up the shortstop, Vincent Adona, who's 0 for 2. He has popped up to the pitcher and grounded out to the right side. Popped up, back out of play. Strike 1. The last Patriot no-hitter was Daniel Barfield in 2014 against St. Rose. That was the last complete game for FMU. It was also against St. Rose prior to Isaac's complete game a week and a half ago. That complete game, previous one, Garrett Wilson in 2017. Quickly, the research department getting on that last no-hitter, now that we can talk about it since it's not going to happen today. Blocked by Griffith on that one, and there's a second consecutive inning which Lander has put the leadoff runner on base. Last inning was an error that allowed Yeager to start things off. For Connell, it's his 4th hit of the series. He had 2 hits yesterday. Both of them were for extra bases. Upstairs. Rogers looked like he may have stumbled a little bit after releasing that one. 2 balls and a strike. The count on the shortstop, Madonna. Looking for his first hit of the series. And Rogers now behind 3 balls and a strike. 0 for 7 for Adona in the series. He has driven in a run and driven in 2 runs, scored once, and did walk 3 times in Friday's series opener in his first 3 plate appearances of that game. He lines this one out into right center field. It's going to get down and it's going to roll almost all the way to the wall before Hinnon can grab it. Runner is rounding third base and Connell will score standing up. It's an RBI double for Vincent Adona. So Lander goes quickly from having no hits to back-to-back hits, and their first run of the day against Isaac Rogers here on the top of the 6th, and that'll bring Patriot head coach Art Nabonet out from the first base dugout for the first time today to have a chat with Isaac Rogers. There's no one throwing as of now in the Patriot bullpen, although there are a couple of guys standing around down there looking like someone might start throwing sooner rather than later. So it makes it 7-1 with Mike Fitzgin in the on-deck circle. Or stepping into the box next for Lander, that is. One final in the conference. Young Harris takes 2 out of 3 on the road at Flagler as they win the finale today 2-0. A complete game, 1-hit shutout for Young Harris's Drew Wilson. He allowed just 1 hit and 1 walk and only had 1 strikeout. Young Harris wins 2 out of 3 on the road at Flagler after knocking off the Patriots in 2 out of 3 last weekend. Just missed to Fitzgin, did Rogers there. So the Mountain Lions improve to 8-5 in the conference. Flagler falls to 10-8. So Young Harris will pass Flagler in the conference standings. Move up from 5th to 4th. Fitzgin takes a strike. Today he's 0 for 2. He has flown to center and grounded out. Dona out at second after his RBI double, his 13th RBI of the season. Pop up. This one looks like it's going to get back out of play. It will. Bounces a couple rows behind the FMU dugout and back toward the metal bleachers. 1-2 on Fitzgen. One for 11 in the series. Three runs batted in. Time called. Rogers delivers. So it's flown out into right, back and toward right center. Hinnant, he's under it, makes the catch. Runner is tagging from third, or from second to third, I should say, and he will advance. So Adona moves up on the Fitzgen fly ball. First out of the inning. That'll bring the first baseman, Nathan Schreckengost. Rogers has been able to handle the Lander cleanup hitter today. He has struck him out twice, once looking and once swinging. The Patriots will once again employ the heavy shift. The shortstop, Mackinson, laying a few strides to the right side of the second base bag and a step onto the outfield grass. Wakefield is playing in shallow right. The second baseman's tapped foul. Pappas over at first base, maybe a step or so closer to the line than normal. Taylor has shifted toward right center. It's a foul tip into the mid of Alex Griffith. So Wadsworth is the only player on the left side of the infield for FMU. He is pretty much normal positioning over at third base with a left-handed hitter at the plate. Can't be too far away with a runner at third. Right back up the middle. Mackinson in perfect position. He'll make the play. Will get a run in for Lander, but the Patriots will trade the run for the out in the situation. As Schreckengost collects his team-leading 21st RBI of the season. It's now 7-2. So the bases are empty with two down. 2 runs in now for Lander here in the sixth, as they have cut the Patriot lead from 7 down to 5. Golden Yeager with the bases empty and 2 out. Back to normal defensive alignment for FMU as Rogers delivers a breaking ball for a strike. Hasn't struck a batter out in this inning. He has struck out at least one in each of his first 5, 10 total at this point. Bounces that one up. Yeager struck out swinging in the second and then reached on the Patriot error back in the 5th inning. The only error either side has made thus far. Swing and a miss. So Rogers ahead of Yeager, 1 ball and 2 strikes, trying to limit the damage to just the 2 Lander runs on what were their first 2 hits of the afternoon. And another strikeout for Isaac Rogers, so he keeps the streak alive with 1 batter at a minimum fanned in each of his first 6 innings. It's his 11th of the day, and FMU leads 7-2, middle of the 6th of the Patriot Sports Network. Fred Wadsworth, the biggest run producer of the day for FMU, to lead off. Here in the bottom of the sixth, the 7-2 Francis Marion lead, and he chops it foul down the third base side for a strike. Got the scoring started with a bases clearing double. Back at the second, a big hit to give FMU an early lead for the third consecutive day. And then drove in a run with a sacrifice fly his last time up. Quickly in an 0-2 hole here. Most RBIs he has had in a Patriot uniform, and in a single game Wadsworth, he now has 5 for the season. Strike 2 pitch, swing and a miss. Moore will throw down to Schreckengoss to complete the strikeout. It's the third strikeout for Stevens since he's come on. He's now worked a total of 2 innings in relief. Came on in the fourth to finish that inning. Stranded a couple of 2-out base runners in the fifth. And remains on here in the sixth with 1 out. Back to the top of the order, Will Hardy. Fly out and 2 walks today for the Patriots leadoff hitter. Hardy's still looking to extend that hitting streak to 14 in a row. He got it out of the way early yesterday. A leadoff solo home run in the bottom of the first, his first career collegiate blast. He pops this one up. Shortstop Adona circling under it. Makes the catch and a couple of quick outs for the right-hander Stevens to begin the bottom of the sixth. Leaves it up to the senior right fielder Cole Hinnant. Hinnant 1 for 3, strikeout, single, ground out. Singleton scored back in the third inning. Patriots got 3 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 in the fourth. Both of Lander's runs came on the top of this inning after picking up their first 2 hits of the afternoon against Isaac Rogers. Fouled back. There is action in the Patriot bullpen. Right-hander throwing down the right field line. Rogers has tied his career high with 11 strikeouts through 6 innings. Got on and missed by Hinnant. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ethan Meese appears to be the right-hander up in the Francis Marion pen. And it drives this one out into center. Gregory is there. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Zeke Stevens in the bottom of the sixth. FMU still leads it by 5. Go to the 7th on the Patriot Sports Network. Junior right-hander Ethan Meese out of Waynesville, North Carolina, takes over for the Patriots as we go to the 7th inning. Meese to face Glanton, Moore, and Jones, the 6, 7, 8 hitters in the Lander lineup, looking to protect a 7-2 Francis Marion lead. Meese deals, misses low with his first offering of the day. Meese, a 9.53 ERA. This is his team-high 13th appearance. 21 hits allowed and 11 in the third. 12 runs, 8 walks, 17 strikeouts. 375 opponents average against. Misses upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes on Glanton, who has walked and struck out today. Final line on the senior starter, Isaac Rogers. He goes 6 innings, allowed just 2 runs on 2 hits, walked 1, and tied his career high with 11 strikeouts. Glanton drills this one down the right field line, headed toward the FMU bullpen, and it'll sail over it, well foul. 2 balls and a strike. Now on Glanton. 2 for 8 in the series. Meese out of the stretch. Rocks back and fires upstairs. Meese, a transfer from Lewisburg College, where he posted a 3.1 or 3.81 earned run average in 19 relief outings a year ago. Throws a fastball right by Glanton there to fill the count. The only 2 hits allowed by Rogers were the leadoff single and then subsequent double allowed to Adona at the start of last inning. He then got the next 3 to end his day and punctuated his outing with his career-high tying 11th strikeout. A little bit inside from Meese. Leadoff walk to Glanton as he walks for the 2nd time this afternoon. Leadoff man on for Lander here on the top of the 7th inning, bringing the catcher, Zach Moore, to the plate. Carson Jones came to the plate and threw me off for a second, but he was just picking up the bat. Why does the on-deck hitter have to do that and confuse me? It's not the first time I've been thrown off by that. And it definitely won't be the last. Swing and a miss by Moore. Trying to get aggressive, and Meese buried one down and away. Meese had a rough outing at Claflin on Wednesday, lasting just a third of an inning. Looking to bounce back here today. Help the Patriots hang on to this 5-run lead. Has not pitched so far in this series against Lander, and he gets another swing and a miss from Zach Moore for strike 2. Moore, he has to put the ball in play today. Struck out looking back in the 2nd, and then was hit by a pitch by Isaac Rogers back in the 5th inning. Glanton pretty short lead over at first, held on by Pappas. Not a stealing situation down by 5 runs this late. Strike 2 from Meese. Didn't get him to chase a 3rd consecutive time, 1-2. FMU getting another right-hander right back up in the bullpen in case Meese is in need of assistance to get through this 7th inning. Double play depth up the middle for Mackinson and Wakefield. This one's flown out into straightaway center. Taylor racing back. He will slow down a few feet in front of the track to make the catch as Moore hit that one a long ways. It's 400 feet out to straightaway center, though, and so Taylor has plenty of room to patrol out there. And it's the first out for Meese and company here on the top of the 7th. Glanton stays put at first, and now Carson Jones will come to the plate, not just to grab the most recently used bat. He struck out twice against Rogers, so he'll be glad to see anyone else. Caught looking in the 3rd and then whiffed back in the 5th inning. Meese throws it right by him. Meese certainly amongst the hardest throwing pitchers on the Patriots staff. 1 Off-speed pitch that didn't miss by much. Patriots have out-hit Lander to this point 6-2, lead at 7-2. Meese fires. Just a touch up out of the zone. 2 balls and a strike. One more home game for FMU before they hit the road next weekend, a Wednesday non-conference tilt against Limestone. Threw it right by him. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That game against the Saints Wednesday at 6 o'clock right here on Cornell Field at Sparrow Stadium. And once again, we will bring it to you live on the Patriots Sports Network. Patriots winning at Limestone a couple of weeks back, or, well, a little bit over a week and a half ago. And Isaac Rogers had the complete game in that outing, although he will not get the start for FMU in that contest after throwing 6 innings today. Pretty confident in saying that. See who FMU does turn to for that contest. Could potentially be Weston Rogers, who was in Isaac's place in the weekend rotation before Isaac came in. Another towering fly ball out into shallow left center field. Mackinson out. He'll make the catch with Hardy and Taylor both coming in behind him, but Mackinson got there in plenty of time. 2 down for Gregory as Meese and out away from working around the leadoff walk to Rory Glanton, who remains parked over there at first base. Gregory so far today is 0 for 2, strikeout and a flyout. 7 of the 9 Lander hitters have struck out at least once today. The only 2 to not strike out, Vincent Adona, the shortstop, and the DH Mike Fitchin, the 2 and 3 hitters. Everyone else struck out at least once. Against Isaac Rogers. Strike on the edge from Meese. Ball and a strike on the left-handed hitting Gregory. 1 for 9 in the series. A couple of runs scored, a couple of runs batted in. Drove himself in with his 3rd home run of the year yesterday. Outside from Meese. Noah Davis appears to be the right-hander who has been off and on throwing throughout the top of the 7th inning in the Francis Marion pen. Swing and a miss by Gregory. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Glanton at first with 2 down here in the Lander 7th. Patriots leading at 7-2. Going to salvage the final game of this 3-game PBC series and stay ahead of Lander in the conference standings. The pitch. Outside. Full count, and with 2 away, that'll mean a green light for Glanton to get a head start on the pitch over there at first base. Pappas will still hold him on. Sometimes defense will play behind the runner in this situation. 3-2. Line drive down the right field line. Just foul. That had extra bases written all over it for Gregory, but he couldn't keep it fair down the line. Would have easily been another run for Lander, especially with Glanton on the move with the pitch. He slowly makes his way back toward first base. This time Pappas will play behind him over at first base so he can get an even better start. Another payoff from Meese. Another foul. Off the bat of the lefty swinger, Gregory. Gregory, the sophomore, out of Gaffney, South Carolina. Former teammate of some of these Patriots at Florence Darlington Tech. Meese steps off. Another foul. Good battle between Meese and Gregory. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Meese ready to go once again. Again, the runner takes off, called third strike. And Meese fired up as he pitches around the leadoff walk and sends us to the 7th inning stretch with Francis Marion still in front by 5 on the Patriot Sports Network. Good work by Ethan Meese to work around a leadoff walk to keep the Patriot lead at 5 as we go to the last of the 7th. Gage Taylor, Nick Pappas, and Lenio Gonzalez, 3, 4, and 5 coming up for FMU here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Zeke Stevens back to work. Done a good job for Lander out of the pen, keeping FMU's offense around. A slow tapper to short. Going to be a tough play for Adona, and he will not come up with it cleanly. An infield single for Gage Taylor. It was going to be a tough play anyway, as it wasn't hit particularly hard, and Taylor is one of the fastest Patriots, leads them in steals. Perfect 10 for 10 on the season. And once Adona struggled to transfer it from his glove to his throwing hand, that was going to be it in terms of having a chance to throw out Taylor. And even if he had done so to perfection, might not have gotten Taylor anyway. And Taylor draws the throw. Taylor by far leading the Patriots with those 10 steals. Playing some games over there with Stevens, trying to get a running lead, or at least faking like he's going to get a running lead. Nick Pappas, 1 for 3 with an RBI single in his middle at bat today. Came up empty with his first offering. Taylor's 10 steals, third most in the conference. Kendall Ford of Columbus State leads the conference with 14. Luke Jackson of UNC Pembroke second with 11 before we get to Taylor at 10. Those are the only 3 Peach Belt Conference players to have double-digit steals at this point in the season. There are a couple others who are at 9 steals, at least at the start of play today. Patriots haven't run a lot this season, but when they have been very successful at it, as Pappas fouls it away. They are 20 out of 23. And as I mentioned, Taylor has not been caught in 10 tries. Taylor's hit his second of the day and the 7th for Francis Marion. The Gage now with 11 multi-hit games. 2 shy of Cole Hinnant, leads the team with 13. Strike 2 pitch to Pappas. Fastball stands him up. Brett Kemp, a freshman out of Wilmington, North Carolina, has moved into the on-deck circle. It appears he will pinch hit for Lenio Gonzalez. A 1-2. Pappas skies it to the left side, drifting into foul territory. Yeager stumbled a bit, but still makes the catch on the dirt track surrounding the field. One away, keeps Taylor at first. So Brett Kemp to pinch hit for Gonzalez. Kemp pinch hit in the ball game on Friday night in the 9th inning and flew out. It's his only appearance so far of the series. Taylor at first with 1 out. FMU leading 7-2 here in the bottom of the 7th. He replaces Gonzalez, who was in the DH spot, so no need to change the defensive alignment for FMU with this pinch hitting situation. Gonzalez ends up going 0 for 2, did walk and score back in the 3-run second on the 3-run double by Fred Wadsworth. Taylor takes off, pitches high, and the throw from the catcher is high as well, and Taylor's going to get right back up and scamper on over to third. So it's steal number 11 for Taylor, and a throwing error by the catcher, Zach Moore, gets him all the way over to third. Now each team with 1 error this afternoon. And a great chance for Kemp now to drive in a run, even without a hit. 3 for 22 for Kemp at the plate this season. Doesn't have 1 run batted in. It's his 19th game that he has appeared in. Lander once again bringing the infield in, trying to prevent the run from scoring on a ground ball. And it's ripped into right field. A solid base hit for Brett Kemp. Easily in to score is Gage Taylor. So Kemp gets the job done. A pinch hit RBI single. And the FMU lead is 6 at 8-2. Second career collegiate RBI for Brett Kemp, the freshman out of Wilmington, North Carolina. And now he will be lifted for pinch runner. Nicky Winterstein checks in to run. Mound visit for Lander here before Alex Griffith will come to the plate. Griffith has been on twice today, a single and a walk in 3 plate appearances. And he'll be facing a new pitcher for Lander. We'll tell you all about it. Step aside for a moment here on the Patriot Sports Network. 6'4" lefty Fraser Ellard, a junior out of Roswell, Georgia, takes over for Lander to make his 10th appearance of the season. 3.86 ERA, 0-2 record. 10 hits, 9 runs, 6 of them earned, allowed in 14 innings of work. He has walked 9, fanned 18. First pitch to Alex Griffith is downstairs. 3 solid innings of relief work for Zeke Stevens. He's allowed 1 run so far. He is responsible for Winterstein, who's pinch running for Kemp over at first. Griffith takes a strike. Griffith singled and scored in the second. Fielder's choice in the third, and then walked in the fifth. Winterstein forced to dive back in over at first base. Eller, the fourth pitcher used by Jason Burke and the Lander Bearcats today. Just missed outside on Griffith. 2 balls and a strike on the FMU senior backstop. FMU with 3 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and 1 here in the seventh. Both of Lander's runs came in the sixth. Final inning of work for Patriots starter Isaac Rogers. Swing and a miss. Runner is on the move, and Moore again sails his throw, and Winterstein has a stolen base. It looked like Moore initially struggled to get it out of his glove, and then for the second time this inning, sailed his throw high. This time, Lander was able to keep it on the infield. But Nicky Winterstein swipes the Patriots' second bag of the inning, and it's his first steal of the season. So he's now in scoring position. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Griffith. He's in the top 10 in the Peach Belt in RBIs with 26. Breaking ball just missed from Ellard. Went around the plate. Full count. And a noisy Lander dugout offers up more moans and groans about the strike zone of T.R. Sloan. Three-two. We'll do it again as Griffith fouls it off to the screen just above the on-deck hitter, Mackinson. Griffith began his collegiate career at Pitt out of Bristol, Virginia, time called. Stepping off is Ellard. Now deals. And tipped into the glove of Zach Moore, and Fraser Ellard strikes out Griffith for the second out here in the Patriot half of the seventh inning and leaves it up to the shortstop, C.J. Mackinson. Mackinson singled sharply through the left side his last time up. Went for 2 plus a walk today. Drew a walk and came around to score one of 3 fourth-inning runs for FMU. Winterstein leading from second, and he will draw a throw. Inning started with a infield single by Gage Taylor. After Pappas popped up, Taylor stole second, went to third on a throwing error by the catcher Moore, and then came in on the pinch hit RBI single by Brett Kemp. Mackinson drives this one high in the air to left field, fairly deep but playable for Glanton, and that is that for FMU in the seventh, but they add an insurance run. They lead it by 6, 8-2 as we go to the eighth on the Patriot Sports Network. A second inning of work for Bailey Connell, for Ethan Meese to face Bailey Connell here in the top of the 8th. Meese walked Rory Glanton to start last inning, but then got the next 3 in order on a flyout, a pop-up, and a strikeout. Now with a 6-run advantage to work with, after the pinch hit RBI single by Brett Kemp extended the FMU lead by 1 in the bottom of the 7th. Fouled away by Connell. Led off the 6th inning for Lander with a single. It was their first hit of the game and first of just 2 through the first 7 innings. Connell and Odona back-to-back hits to start that 6th inning. And that's all Lander has had in terms of hits. They've had a few more base runners. There's a swing and a miss. They have drawn 2 walks, had 1 batter hit, and FMU has made 1 error to allow another man to reach. One, 2. Line drive out into left center field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Connell with a aggressive turn over there at first base, but he will check back in with a leadoff single, his first hit, or second hit, I should say, of the game. Grayson Cottingham is checked into the game for FMU to play second base. Start this 8th inning. Appears to be the only defensive substitution for FMU. Cunningham, the junior, spent last season at Florence Darlington Tech, and Vincent Odona is hit by the pitch. Second hit batter of the game for Francis Marion. 2 on, nobody out, and that'll bring Art Abbott out of the Patriot dugout. The FMU head coach is likely bringing the hook with him. And indeed he is. Points down to the Patriot pen, and so Ethan Meese will exit after an inning of work and facing 2 batters here to start the 8th. Lander looking to come back down by 6. The Patriots go to the pen. Back with a new pitcher in a moment. Weston Rogers out of the FMU bullpen here with 2 on, nobody out for Lander in the top of the 8th. Patriots up 8-2. Rogers, the 6'2" sophomore out of Mullins, South Carolina. Spent 1 season at Florence Darlington Tech. Was the NJCAA Region 10 Pitcher of the Year. Went 7-1 with a 2.62 ERA. 51 strikeouts in 55 innings for the Stingers last year. His first pitch of today is lined out into shallow right by Fitzgen, and Cole Hennon is going to have to play it on a hop. And now Lander has the bases loaded with nobody out. Connell to third, O'Dona to second, and now Fitzgen aboard. Connell started the inning with a single, and then O'Dona was hit by a pitch by Meese, who works an inning in back of the starter Isaac Rogers, who stands to win his 6th game as long as the Patriots can hang on. If, in fact, Rogers does pick up his 6th win of the season, it would tie him for the conference lead. 4 other Peach Belt Conference pitchers with 6 wins. Rogers delivers a strike. It is Nathan Schreckengost who was scheduled to hit, but he is lifted for a pinch hitter here, Drew Lucky. Schreckengost, the leader in runs batted in for Lander this season, and had one his last time up with a ground out. He's 0 for 3 on the day, and so Coach Burke goes back to his bench for this bases loaded situation to get the righty to face the lefty, Weston Rogers. Rogers worked out of the FMU bullpen on Friday, an inning and a third. Struck out a couple. The pitch, a little bit low. Lucky, 2 for 5 at the plate this season. Both of his hits triples. He has scored twice. He's now played in 10 games. He's got the bases loaded for him here. Rogers deals and strikes him out. Griffith had it pop out of his glove, but with each base occupied and less than 2 outs, no chance for the batter to try to advance on the drop third. Big first out for Weston Rogers, as now a double play will get the Patriots out of the jam. It's Colton Yeager, who is 0 for 3 today, 2 strikeouts. He's also reached on an error. Patriots have out-hit the Bearcats 8-4. Lead them 8-2 as Rogers delivers a first pitch strike. Had been in the Patriots' weekend rotation up until this weekend. Has had a couple of rough starts his last couple of times out, though. This one's fouled away, and quickly 0-2, he's ahead of Yeager. The Patriots don't have very many lefties on their staff, and had 2 of them in the rotation, in Rogers and yesterday's starter Josh Bobrowski until this weekend. Strike 2 pitch. Ground ball sharply to second, could be 2. Cottingham to Mackinson 1. Relay to first, little high. Pappas got his foot back down on the bag. Inning ending 4-6-3 double play induced by Weston Rogers. With the bases loaded and nobody out, he gets a strikeout and then a double play. And FMU will carry a 6-run lead into the bottom of the 8th on the Patriot Sports Network. Grayson Cottingham will get his first at-bat of the day to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning for FMU. Came in defensively for Tanner Wakefield on the top of this inning. Cottingham with an RBI single in each of the first 2 games of this series. And he takes a called strike 0-1 after Schreckengost was pinch hit for a new first baseman for Lander, freshman Landon Dupert, 6 foot out of Warrenville, South Carolina. Cottingham will push a bunt up the first base side. It's a good one, but a great barehanded play by Ellard. The toss to first and plenty of time to get Cottingham one away. That was the only chance the Bearcats had of getting Cottingham, and Ellard just made a terrific barehanded play. Got to just tip your cap to him. Here's Fred Wadsworth. He's driven in half of the Patriots' 8 runs. 3-run double and a sac fly, officially 1 for 2. Other Patriots sport action today, the FMU tennis teams dropping a couple of decisions at Georgia College, the men falling 5-2, women 4-3. Patriot golf team has wrapped up its weekend at the Furman Intercollegiate Tournament in Greenville, South Carolina. They finished in a tie for 19th with High Point. This one's popped up, foul ground, first base side, and Dupert unable to make the catch. Looked like he may have slightly overran it and then had to reach back across his body to try and snare it as he was getting up against the fence. Strike 2 on Wadsworth at the plate. Today on the golf course, redshirt freshman McClure Thompson and freshman Pierre DeCaval, each with 3 birdies to lead the way for FMU. DeCaval with 10 birdies for the weekend and an eagle in Friday's opening round. 2-2 to Wadsworth, called third on the outside corner. Ellard's second strikeout since coming on. Two up, 2 down for Fraser Ellard here in the bottom of the 8th. And Will Hardy, in what will likely be his last chance to extend his hitting streak to 14 in a row. He's flown out and popped up and then drawn 2 walks. 1 run scored for Hardy today. The freshman from right here in Florence, graduate of South Florence High School. Ellard strike 1 is also in there. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th, 6, 7, and 8, Glanton, Moore, and Jones scheduled to come to the plate for Lander. Hardy takes one up and away. Noah Davis back up in the Francis Marion pen. Appears the freshman may be called upon when we get to the 9th to try to get the final 3 outs and seal a series finale win for FMU. And as they called third strike, a 1-2-3 inning for Fraser Ellard. Picks up a couple of strikeouts and makes a nice play on a bunt attempt by Cottingham. And as we go to the 9th, last chance for Lander, 8-2, FMU in front on the Patriot Sports Network. Weston Rogers back to work for FMU, top of the ninth, protecting an 8-2 Francis Marion lead. Rory Glanton, the left fielder, to get it started for Lander. 0 for 1, walk, strikeout, walk in his first 3 plate appearances, and Rogers delivers a strike. Came on with 2 on, nobody out last inning, did Rogers, and gave up a single to Mike Fitchton on his first pitch to load the bases with nobody out, but then struck out the pinch hitter Lucky Looking as he fires in strike 2, and then got an inning-ending 4-6-3 double play off the bat of Colton Yeager to keep the Patriot lead at 6. So 3 outs away from their 19th win of the season. FMU just getting a piece is Glanton as it remains 0-2. Rogers deals. Deep in the hole at short. C.J. Mackinson rifles to first. Not quite in time. Glanton beats it out. Mackinson has a strong arm at short. But Glanton just a little bit too quick up the line. An infield single is his first hit of the game and 3rd of the series. That's the 5th hit for the Bearcats, and they again have the leadoff runner on. Five straight innings in which Lander has put the leadoff runner on base after they did not have the leadoff runner on any of the first 4 innings. In fact, had only 1 base runner in total in the first 4 innings against Isaac Rogers. Weston Rogers misses a little bit inside to the catcher, Zach Moore. Blown foul out of play. Mentioned earlier the Sunday action for the Patriot tennis teams and the golf team. The spring sport that is not playing this weekend, surprisingly so, is the softball team. They had a rare weekend off after winning 3 out of 4 non-conference games in the midweek. They will be at USC Aiken on Tuesday. Ground ball right back to Rogers. Snares it to Cottingham for 1. Relay on to first, and another double play for the Patriots. 1-4-3. Bases empty, 2 down. Last hope for Lander is Carson Jones. And the softball team, just to finish up the point on them, they've taken the opportunity to come out and support the baseball team today. Several of them in the first row right behind the Patriot dugout on the first base side. So with 2 down, it's Carson Jones. The last chance for the Bearcats this afternoon, and he takes one out of the zone. Had the go-ahead 3-run homer in the 8th inning yesterday. Helped Lander win and come from behind fashion. Drives this one in the air into left field and deep. Hardy going back. He's at the warning track and hauls it in. Jones gave it a ride, but Hardy secures it, and the Patriots win the final game of this series by a final score of 8-2. 8 runs on 8 hits with an error for the Patriots. 2 runs on 5 hits with an error for Lander. 2 hours and 43 minutes game time here at FMU. Isaac Rogers picks up the victory, ties for the league lead with his 6th win. He improves to 6-0. Losing pitcher is Joseph Witt. He falls to 3-3 in his senior season. No save in this one. The announced attendance, 597 here for the finale at Cornwell Field at Sparrow Stadium. The Patriots, with the win, improved to 19-11 on the season and 10-8 in conference play. Both of those totals surpassing the 2018 totals for FMU. Lander dips to 11-19 and 7-8 in conference play. The Patriots are also 13-8 at home. Now this season, they got 3 runs in the 2nd inning, courtesy of a 3-run double by Fred Wadsworth. An sacrifice fly by Wadsworth in the 4th inning completed his career-high 4 RBI day. Nick Pappas had an RBI single in the 3rd. Also an RBI single for Gage Taylor in the 4th inning. Another run scored in that inning on a wild pitch. The Patriots were up 7-0 at that point. Lander got their 2 runs in the 6th on an RBI double by Vincent Adona and an RBI ground out by Nathan Schreckengost. The Patriots wrapped up the evening or afternoon scoring with a pinch hit RBI single by Brett Kemp in the bottom of the 7th. So the Patriots win it 8-2. Their next game will be right here as well. 6 o'clock first pitch Wednesday evening. Non-conference action against Limestone College. We hope you join us then. Thanks for watching today. Rob Lau signing off from the Patriots Sports Network. Good night. Go Pats.